Today we're going to draw a cute bird on a pretzel, surrounded by some wintry and Christmassy decors. I'm Agnes, an artist and illustrator in France, and so happy to invite you today to my little creative space, where we'll draw together this little picture and hopefully have loads of fun. Here I am starting off with the little bird. I'd like to make it really cute and rounded. Here goes his wings. His little eye will be up here and his beak here because he'll be facing up. Let's draw his little tail feathers. And his cute little feet. I'm going to place a star in his beak. For a little touch of Christmas. And just adding some little fun decors to the star. It even looks like a little Christmas cookie. I'm going to place him on some pine cones. So I'm just drawing some curved lines for my pine cone. And some more for another one. These are just like little mountains. You can put them in any way. They can even be different sizes. And I'm going to do a little tiny stem on the bottom. Next, I'm going to make and draw some pine leaves or pine needles. And I'm just drawing lines back and forth, all different directions. Sometimes they join, sometimes they're single. And I will make another one here. So first I start with a middle line, give it a little stem, then the top, and I work my way down. Here I'm going to add another little star. Little star decoration. Or you can imagine it's another little star cookie. Where I live, there's a tradition of making little Agnes cookies, and they're often in the shape of stars. Or they have little almonds in the center, like this. And I'm going to even it out on this side by making another pine branch. I think these are so lovely and pretty at this time of year. You can add them to a vase, you can add them to your fireplace, even to a jar. Add a few little berries, which I'm gonna do here. That way we can have a little bit of red color in our picture. And maybe another set of leaves over here. And over here, also to even it out, I just like to fill up little spaces here and there. And I could add a berry or two to this side. And we have our little bird. You can add some little texture if you want to his little belly, or little feathers to his wings. Now we're moving on to a pretzel. And some more little Christmassy decors. So I'm going to start with the decors because they'll be in front of the pretzel. Again, my little star decorations with some almonds or nuts. Another couple berries. That way we have some red and yellows on this side of the picture as well. And I'm not going to forget pretty green pine branch. You don't have to get too picky about this because sometimes the more varied they are, the nicer it looks, the better it looks. Let's add in some more berries on this side. I make a little dot in the top just so it looks a bit more like a berry. And to go along with our berries, we're going to add some of these holly leaves. Holly leaves. It's a tongue twister. And there we have it. Now we can fill up the rest of the space with our little pretzel. So why a pretzel? Well, for one, it's my favorite type of bread. And two, it's a traditional bread in this part of France where I live, in Alsace. So it's kind of like a fun, tasty, and cultural object. Oops. So you kind of draw it behind your picture. And here's the other side of the pretzel. And what's really fun is to play along with the pretzel. I play along with the letter A. A for Alsace, which is the area of France. And I like to make a little line here for the A. And then we'll erase this part here. My name also starts with an A, so I kind of add it to the picture for more ways than one. I think it's a fun little twist to this Christmas picture and to this little Alsatian bread. And here we're going to curve it back so they meet up here. So what you can do, if it's easier, just go ahead and make your lines all the way to the end. And then you can go ahead and erase whatever part you want in the back. There we have our cute little bird on a pretzel picture. If you want to go even further with your art skills, I'm going to make a new layer and I'm going to choose a very light gray and add a little bit of shading. I like to add shading underneath, so here underneath the bird's feet, and I just do some gentle little like pencil strokes. I like the organic look. Maybe this pretzel is on top, so I'm going to add a little shading to the one behind. Even the little pine cones, you can add a little shading in the back of each little curved line. That way it kind of gives a highlight to the front part. So shading really helps bring our little picture to life. If you don't want to do this part, you can just skip it and add in some color instead. Sometimes I add in the shading and then on top of that, I add in my colors. For the pretzel, I'm just going to go a little bit of shading to the parts that are behind and on one side, towards one side. That way my light, I know my light is coming from one part, one side, so I'm going to make the light come from this part, from my left side. So I will put a little bit of shading on the right side of my pretzels or objects. Again, whenever there's a little object or detail, like here, I'm going to put a little extra shading. Like here. And even we'll put a little bit on this side. So sometimes even the rougher you do it, the quicker, sometimes it helps it look even more organic, more natural. So don't worry, this is to encourage you that you don't have to have your lines totally perfect, totally straight. Just enjoy the process. For your leaves, you can just add just a few little strokes, which is what I'm doing here, just a few lines, not much, because I'll add more details when I do the coloring. For your berries, you can go ahead, I'm going to zoom in so you can see. I'm just going to make a little curved line to one side, starting from the bottom and going up. Just like that. It kind of helps it look like a round shape. So we're going to go ahead and do that with all our little berries. And always the same side. For the bird, you can add a little bit under the beak. You can add a little bit on the feet. And again on this side of the bird. I don't need to do much else because the rest, the light is shining on him, on our little birdie. If you want, you can add a little bit to the side, again to the left side of your star shapes or star cookies. And the last thing, if you want to, you can, I'm just going to do a new layer. I'm going to choose a fun little brush for some texture. And I'm just going to add a little bit of background texture. That way it shows your, I'm going to erase this part. Your little pretzel and picture is not floating up in the air. And then you erase this part. If you're working on paper, then just don't color or add shading to the pretzel part. Again, I'm going to make a smaller size and even a little bit darker. The closer it gets to the pretzel and my decorations, the darker I get. You can go even darker shade. So if you're using color pencil, you can start with gray or another color and you get darker and darker. And there we have our cute little bird on a pretzel, surrounded by Christmas decor. Feel free to add in some beautiful colors as you wish. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time!